Hi everybody, I'm here to do Facebook Live tonight, show you a pocket letter for Scrapbooking Store. Now, I'm going to have a computer so maybe I can answer questions. Usually I answer the questions afterwards, but we'll see if I can multitask and walk and talk at the same time. I'm going to wait a few minutes for everybody to come on, and I'm going to set up my computer so that I can see some comments. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I think I have the big screen on there, so if you ask some questions, I might be able to answer them. This is a first for me. And glasses on all the time so I can see. Usually I can't see, hopefully. But I'm going to turn down the volume on that computer because it's not going along with me talking right now. So hold on again. Glasses on all the time so I can see. Usually I can't see. Okay. My name is Marci. I'm doing a pocket letter demonstration tonight for Scrapbooking Store. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to turn the camera in a couple of minutes. I'll just give everybody a minute or two and then we will get started. Let me check the computer screen, see if there's any questions yet. Well, Nancy, you're not too far away because I am in Sicklerville, New Jersey, across from Philadelphia, maybe about a half an hour. So, in the ad for the live tonight, I am shown with this pocket letter. I used last month's collection for this pocket letter. I am going to give away tonight's pocket letter, and if Joe Selner is on, I am also going to give a second pocket letter to somebody watching tonight. Just random choice by Scrapbooking Store, and I will mail this pocket letter to somebody. This one is a little bit different. Well, they're all different, and everybody has different styles, but if you notice, I split the pocket here. And I put some sequins in it and half paper. This one is unusual and a little bit more complex for people who are just starting out doing pocket letters. I've done maybe 80 of them over the last few years. So I will give this pocket letter away also, the one that was in the ad, to anybody, who is watching tonight. Hi everybody. Thanks for joining in. Let me see if we're about ready to get started. Thank you, Penny. Thank you, Penny. I like doing them. I like trading them. We trade them with people all over the world, really. Since the pandemic, we've mostly been just swapping in the States. I don't want to make too many trips to the post office, and so we're trading within the States. All right, let me start by talking to you a little bit about a pocket letter before I turn the camera. For anybody watching that doesn't know what a pocket letter is, it really is just a fun thing. What do you do with them? Well, what do we do with anything we make? I mean, if we're going to continue with this hobby, we're going to keep on making things, so we're always going to have an excess of something. Scrapbook pages, I have many, many books. I also make artist trading cards. They're the size of a baseball card. We trade them with people all over the world. I have a couple thousand of those, literally. It's just fun. It's fun meeting people from all over the world, learning about them all over the world. So the pocket letter uses this 9-pocket, clear pockets, a sports card holder. You can get them anywhere. You can get them online anywhere. You can get them in sports card stores. You can get them at Target, Walmart, and the sports. They usually are with the sports cards or Pokemon cards, even in that area. Get the best quality one that you can. They have holes on the sides. Some people decorate the side tab. I always do. Going to try to keep it as simple as possible tonight so that you can follow along and possibly get interested in making one. I usually look at mine the next day and tweak it a little bit, add some extra things, but I am going to try to keep this one on the simpler side, because if you start simple, then you look at your whole project. From there, you can just look at it and say, gee, I want to add something to this card, or I want to add something to the strip on the side, or I want to put more hanging things on the side. Once it's finished, you can embellish further from there and go to the next level. Any level is fine. Simple is fine, and just as pretty. So, let me see if there's any questions so far. Okay, anybody have questions before I start? I'm going to turn the camera. Again, my name is Marci, and I am going to show you just one pocket letter. Just like homes with all different styles, furniture with all different styles, clothes with all different styles, there are millions, infinite styles to do a pocket letter. There's no one way. My way is only the right way because you're watching me tonight. Any way is fine. Anything you do is fine. Any style you do is fine. Any paper combination. If someone says, oh, all the same papers have to go in and then you style it from there, that's fine. I used all the same papers on the one I'm doing tonight on the bottom, but different papers in the rest of the pockets. You can do anything you want. Nothing, no right, no wrong. This is just a start. This is just a class to give you a start if you've never done a pocket letter. If you're just here to watch, that's fine too. The one I'm making tonight, they will choose a random winner, and that person will get the pocket letter that I'm making tonight. I'll mail it to you. And Joe, I did see that you're on the one that was in the ad with last month's collection. I will also, so there'll be 2 random winners tonight. I will also mail this one to someone. Okay, I'm going to turn this camera and I'm going to put it on the project and we'll get started. So just give me 1 second to turn this, and let's hope that I can turn it. Okay. And then point this at the project that I'm doing, which is right here. Things. Okay, hopefully everybody can see. Let me see if there's any questions. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. I have my clear 9-pocket sports card holder here. What this has been called sometimes is a modern day pen pal, because you're going to fill each one of these spaces with a 2.5-inch wide by 3.5-inch card. I have pre-cut mine so that you don't have to be here with me doing all my cutting for everything tonight. So it's 2.5 this way by 3.5 this way in each of the spaces. So you have 9 pieces of paper in there. When it is filled up, just like the one that they showed you completed, people turn it around and they will put little goodies in the back pockets. Sometimes, so there's even a formula in the beginning when people were doing pocket letters. They would put paper clips, they would put sequins and little things like that. But anything goes. Sometimes I don't put mine in the back pocket. Sometimes I just wrap up something because I don't want this to become too bulky. I prefer that my pockets were a little bit chunky and bulky. I like that. So putting things in the back just makes it too bulky. I do always sign the back of mine, so please sign your work, because there's nothing worse than getting something that you then don't know who made it later on because they sent you a separate note. But the main thing, and they call this a pocket letter, because you type up a letter or you handwrite a letter and you put that in the pocket, and I do always do that. And I tell a little bit about myself and where I live and how many pocket letters I've made, and people do all kinds of different things with their letters. But the main thing is the letter, and you know, that's something that I do. I haven't always received a letter in return with the pocket letter, but mostly I do. So that is something that most people do. And again, I said that some people do decorate the side strip, others don't. Okay, let me just add a little more light here. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Oh, Rhonda, yes, you did your first one, and I know you've been making tons of them ever since, and they're so nice, and I'm glad that I could inspire you in that way. That's a huge, huge compliment. Okay, so as not to take up all your time this evening, I did my cutting ahead of time. So I have 9 sheets of paper. I use this month's collection, easy to use, and I happen to have a signature for my pocket letters. I decided from the very beginning that I wanted to have a shaker of some sort in my pocket letters. I do try to make them different. I told you this one was a little bit different in that I split the pocket and I put in the shakers. So that is unusual, and that's a little more advanced, and I won't really talk about that tonight. But I also want to point out that I am a twine lover, so I don't care what collection I get anywhere, but I do add twine to most of my scrapbooking pages and projects in general, pocket letters. Okay, so hi everybody, thanks for coming. What I did is that I cut out 9 pieces of paper, and I actually, in the upper left and the upper right, this sheet, I also embossed it in my embossing machine, so it has flowers on it. And I just did that for a little added interest because I'm not going to decorate my cards as much. I'm calling these a card. I'm not going to decorate them as much on the inside. I like to use a lot of decorations on the inside and on the outside. But again, I'm trying to keep this one a little bit simpler. So you'll see why as we progress. So I'm going to put that in the pocket. I used all papers from this collection. They're all 2.5 by 3.5. 2.5 this way by 3.5. But I will add a little note to that. I add about 1/8 of an inch to that measurement because I like them to fit snugly in the pockets and not move around too much. So again, I added like maybe 1/8 of an inch to the width and the length of the 2.5 by 3.5 just to add some, to keep them from slipping around. Again, I embossed this one, if you can see that. I'm not sure if you can see that in this light. I embossed that ahead of time just to add a little interest and texture to the pocket. Thank you. Okay. I would like to skip over to, I did put the 3 in there because, again, you can decorate all the cards, but I'm not going to because I'm going to put something over them, and you'll see that shortly. So I want to skip over to the middle because I'm going to tell you how I did my shaker tonight. And it might look like it's complicated, but it is not. I took a 2.5 by 3.5 from the collection with the flowers on it. I then took a clear pocket, about the same size, you know, as one of these. See this clear pocket? I put the shaker ingredients in it, which I used sequins. And from the Dollar Tree, these little flowers. There was a bag of these flowers. I put them in the pocket. I folded the pocket over a little bit and hot glued it. I took this piece of paper from the collection. I put it through my die cutting machine, and I have a scalloped oval. Okay, so then once I stuffed this with the shaker ingredients and I hot glued it so it wouldn't leak out, I just attached it to the back of the paper. So there's the shaker, there's the back. Very simple, not too bulky. Now, the piece that I die cut out of here, I'm going to be using on this pocket letter as a tag when I'm done. So, or you could save it for later, but that's the back color of that paper. I'm going to use it this way. So I'm going to make use of that die cut piece. Okay, so I think hopefully I explained that well enough. I'm going to put that in the center. Okay, so everybody's following along so far? All right, now I have these two cards for either side in the middle. But I am going to add a little bit of embellishment to them. They are the cut-aparts from the collection. I cut them down a little bit, and they're perfect for pocket letters. Okay, so this one, I used a punch that I had in my stash, and I punched out some little corner pieces. This is my favorite glue because it dries clear. Art glitter glue dries clear. You can see how all crackled up my bottle is because I've had it for a long time. You can refill it. And it's art glitter glue, and it dries clear. And you can also get the pin that doesn't rust that goes in, and it comes out and it's in a real thin because of this metal thing on the top. So I'm going to add these little corner pieces to the card that I cut out. You can decorate these cards that go inside the pocket letter as much or as little as you want. And I usually decorate them a lot, as you saw with the pocket letter in the advertisement. I decorated this one a lot. If you look at the individual cards on the insides, I decorated them a lot. This one I'm going to decorate mildly, and then I'm going to decorate it on the outside of the pockets, where I didn't put anything on the outside of the pockets except for this and this. Okay, so that's the other pocket letter that I did for the advertisement of this live tonight. All right, so I'm just putting these in the corners, these little, I've been doing this for over 20 years, so I have a humongous stash, and I have a lot of punches that I had for many years. Where did you get the little cellophane bags? They are actually artist trading card holders, and you can get them online. You can also take any cellophane bag and just cut it down. And just make sure your sides are sealed up. But these are 2.5 by 3.5, and people who trade artist trading cards will find these. There's an artist trading card website, but you can find these anywhere where you find cellophane bags, different sizes. But this is like 2.5 by 3.5. So it worked perfectly for this. But you can use any cellophane bag. Save a bag from something that you one of your embellishments, cut it down and just seal it on the sides and use it for a shaker. Okay, so I decorated this card by using a punch. I just punched little corners just to give it a little extra pizzazz, and I'm putting that in there. Okay, this card that I cut out from the sheets, again, the cut aparts, it says "You're beautiful," and there's bees on it. Well, I noticed on the sticker, I always have the sticker sheet next to me for embellishing from the collection, and there are a bunch of bees here. So I'm going to give this card some dimension by adding some of these little bees from the sticker sheet. So I'm taking the bee out, and actually what I'm going to do, let me see. I'm going to pop it up a little bit with these tiny little pop dots. So I took the little sticker bee. Of course, it's sticking to my finger. Most of the time it sticks to something else, and I find it upstairs because I brought it up on a piece of clothes or something. I lose it. So I'm going to take the little bee, and I'm going to put the bee in the corner. This is just how I'm choosing to embellish this card. I'm not going to embellish the cards as much as I do the outside this time. Okay, there's a bunch of these little bees on here, so I'm going to pop them up a little with these mini pop dots. Oh, that B is upside down, so I'm not seeing as good as I'm telling you that I can see since I have glasses on all the time now. Okay, there we go. There's the B. And I have 2 more. Any questions? Any questions? Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Again, this is just a fun thing. I have a big box that I got from IKEA, and I keep my pocket letters in them. After I leave them out for a week and look them over, and every once in a while. Some people take a 3-ring binder, though, because if you notice, these have 3 holes punched in it, and they fit into binders. So many people just put them in binders, and that's why some people do not decorate the side. If it's too bulky on the side, it's hard to fit into your binder. I have just a large box that I have mine in. All right, let me get one more B for my corner. And one more pop dot. And okay. Now I'm putting that into the pocket. Okay, does anybody find these parts that they take off? Oh, all over there. They have so much static, they stick. I don't even know where that, oh, that one's stuck to the bottom, see? They have so much static, they stick to everything. Okay. I had a plan for this pocket letter tonight so that I could make it go smoothly for you to see, but I usually am constantly looking at all 9 pockets and trying to make them coordinate. Some people will take one theme all through the entire pocket letter. I mean, you can do anything you want. Anything you want. On the bottom, I took one sheet of paper. It's all the same sheet of paper, and it's the flowers. Okay. Now, I am going to put some words on there before, well, let me see what I want to do. Yes, I'm going to put some words from the sticker collection here before I put them in the pockets. So I used some of the word banners on that one, and I'm going to put that in here. You know, just because you put them in the pocket doesn't mean they have to stay there. Marcy, can you tell me again how you seal the cellophane bag? Oh, okay, sure. This cellophane bag for the shaker ingredients is sealed here, all 3 sides. So I'll put the shaker ingredients inside, and then I just folded the flap. And I just took hot glue, and I hot glued it. And of course, you try not to burn your fingers, but then I just ran my fingers along, and it totally sealed. Then I took my card, and I did hot glue it to the back of my card, and then the opening's here. So hopefully that explains that. Okay, so I'm going to put these cards right in here. You can put your cards in there, or you can certainly take them out again to, you say, oh, I want to put something on that, so you take it back out. But you kind of, I develop a picture as I'm going along, and then I'll take them in and out if I see that I want to do that. And I want to stop here for 1 minute just to tell all of you one thing. When you get your collection this month, or if you have it, did you notice that this was the trash from the collection? I believe these flowers were in there. So, I mean, this is pretty. I'm saving it. In fact, normally I probably would have used it in the pocket letter. I would have said, oh, that's nice, and it goes along with spring, and I would have cut it to fit in there. But, you know, I already had my ideas, but I am saving this. This is definitely can be used on a scrapbook page or a card or anything. So I wanted to mention that. You know, a lot of this stuff is just not trash. Hot glue. Oh, yes. Okay, you see that. I do use my hot glue gun a lot. I didn't in the beginning, but I definitely do use it a lot these days. And I have it plugged in. I will be using it. Okay, so what I did ahead of time, again, to save time, is that I just told you not to throw away the piece that came with the flowers, that this can be used. Well, does anybody else use the sheet that comes on top of the collection? Because I cut this out from the sheet that comes along with the collection. And I cut this out. And if you have rough edges because you don't like using your scissors, like I'm not a happy fussy cutter, that's what they call it, fussy cutting, when you have to cut all this out. If you're not a happy fussy cutter like me and you don't think you cut it straight, take a piece of sandpaper. I like gadgets, so I happen to have, this was a Tim Holtz thing a long time ago that has sandpaper on it. At one of the conventions that we went to, we found this little gadget that has sandpaper strips on it, and I'll take the sandpaper and just smooth it out. How about an emery board, a nail file? Just take a nail file and, you can smooth out your edges if you don't like the way you've cut something out and you think that it's, crooked or it's ragged or jagged. Just smooth it out that way. Okay, so I cut this out from it's not the paper that came with the collection, it's the sheet that describes what's in the collection. And I took the liberty of putting pop tape, which I get at the Dollar Tree, 3 rolls for $1. And I put that on the back. And I'm going to put this on the outside of the pocket letter, not inside the pocket, inside the pockets. So I'm going to just take off these strips. And they're very sticky in of themselves, but if you're mailing this to someone and you want to make sure it's going to stay on, you could add a little bit of hot glue to it, which I'm going to do because I'm sending this to someone. So I'm just taking a real quick, put some hot glue on there, and I am putting this in about the middle of the top of the pocket letter. Okay, everybody see that? And if it sticks off a little bit at the end, you just take your scissors, I turn it around, and cut it off. And the other side worked out fine. Okay, I'm seeing if there's any questions. Oh, you have both of those sanders? Melissa, I'll tell you, we probably have all the same stuff in our scrap rooms, because you always say that and I always say that to you. Thank you. Okay, so I put that there. Now, you can see that I embossed these, I said earlier, so they have a lot of texture. The pink pops in the center. So you don't really have to decorate all those cards because I covered them. However, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with them. There is a sheet in the collection that has butterflies on them. And I fussy cut out ahead of time so I wouldn't take up all your time cutting. And I fussy cut out a bunch of these butterflies. I bend them a little bit in the center so that when I put them on the outside here, they have a little bit of texture. Yeah, they'll flatten if I mail them, but they still have the bend in them, so they still will have some, you can still see some texture from the bend. I'm going to put one right on the I Love Spring, and I have my glue gun here, see? And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the middle of the butterfly. I wait a second so it doesn't burn things, and I am going to put that butterfly right there, anywhere you want. Okay, I put the butterfly right there. I cut out a bunch of them, so I'm going to put some butterflies all around on the top. And again, I just put a little hot glue in the center of the butterfly. I bent it a little bit, and I'm just going to put them in different directions. All right, I fussy cut them out. What's fussy cutting? Fussy cutting is taking your scissors and cutting out from paper, and I really am not the most patient fussy cutter. So you can sand it a little bit if you don't cut real straight, but some people say it's very therapeutic and they like cutting out things, but I only do if they're just little things here and there. Okay, I'm going to put these butterflies a little bit on here. See how many I feel like putting on. I think I cut out 5 or 6 of them. just put a little glue dot. You can use glue dots too. I just don't want anything to come off when I mail it to somebody. So that's why I use the hot glue. But you have to be careful because it can burn this plastic. So I kind of wait a second and then put it down. Checking to see. I hate fussy cutting, Melissa. Anybody love it? Did anybody say they love it? What is under my pocket letter is that stuff that is a shelf liner. I get it in this giant roll and I'll cut sheets and it'll stay down for the longest time. That's what's down here. It's shelf liner. Mat on top of mat on top of mat is what I use. Okay. Here's, let's see, do I have, oh, I have one more butterfly, so I'm going to put it up here. Little dot of hot glue. By the time I get over here, it's cool enough that I don't think it will melt my plastic. So I'm glad some of you do like fussy cutting. It makes it so much nicer if you like it, because it's frustrating, you know, if you don't like it. Okay, let me put that up there. Okay, see, you see the dimension? And yeah, they'll flatten a little, but they'll still stick up when you mail them. If you mail them to somebody. Okay. All right, next. I love banners. So here's the banner from the collection. And I also put pop tape on the back from the Dollar Tree, 3 rolls for $1. Okay. And I am going to put that there. So I'm going to take off the tape from the back. It is very, very sticky, and you're fine with just sticking it down, but since I've been doing these for so long and I do mail them to people, I do add a little bit of hot glue. Margie, you asked about a 12 by 12 pocket. You know, pocket letters, I've never seen one, but yes, you could do that. But I've never seen a pocket letter, the ones that we mail to each other, in anything but this size, using the sports cards holders. But the 12 by 12 pockets, they were for Project Life type scrapbooking. I think that sounds like a great idea, actually. People are always looking for something different. You sure could. Okay, I'm just adding a tiny bit of hot glue to this just for extra stick, and I am going to put that down on the outside right there. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. All right. Now this is where my twine comes in. I think a banner, I like it when it has the bow twine on the ends here. So I took the liberty of getting twine. I have a love affair with twine. I don't know, ever since I did some sort of a challenge like 10 years ago with twine, I just love twine. So I will also put a tiny drop of hot glue on the back of that. And I will put those twine bows down just in the corner of the banner. And let me get the other one. And probably before this gets mailed to somebody, I will take a little piece of bling and put it in the center of each of those bows. I just know if I look at it tomorrow, I'll think that it needs that. Okay, so can everybody see that so far? There's always a glare on this. Okay. All right, now I want to do this. I think I'm going to, oh, you know, I cut this piece of lace. I had some lace. Sometimes I like to put that on the bottom here, but then I put that word there. So that's where this comes in. You can take that out if you want and take the word off because, oh, I changed my mind. I want to, I have this word right here and I want to put this lace down here, or not. Maybe I won't put the lace down because I like the words down there. But I was thinking that it sort of gave the illusion of grass. And so I think what I'm going to do totally spontaneous decision right here is I'm going to cut some of this lace off right at the thick ribbon part. So I don't have to take that word off of my card. So I'm just cutting a little bit of this off so that it won't hide my word. Okay. And this is absolutely not a planned thing, and that's how they're supposed to work. But in order to show you and not keep you here forever, I tried to plan this out. I would put a little hot glue on the bottom, very, very bottom strip. There's a tiny little strip here. And then I will put this piece of lace down. Let me get rid of my trash because I'm anal and I don't like it in my way. Okay, so I'm going to just take a second to put a little, when I put hot glue on to put that on the bottom, if I put the entire strip across here, it'll be dry by the time I work that lace down. So I just do this in sections, a tiny bit, maybe on one card, and that also helps me to get it straight and even the way I want it. So. You know, there's a learning curve with this, just like there's a learning curve with everything that we do pretty much in life. You know, as we move along with some of the things we do, we get better and better. Okay. So I put the, let me see if there are any questions. Okay, yes. Nope, not yet. Okay, so I put a little bit of hot glue here and laid it down. Then I put a little more here and laid it down. I put a little more here and laid it down. Now you see it's too long. I'm going to just turn it around. And I have ribbon scissors, so it cuts it nice and smooth. Ribbon scissors at Walmart for like $5, $6. Okay. All right, now to me, I'm looking at it as I go along. It's the base of it is all done, but I look at it and I say, no, I'm not very balanced over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use from the collection these dimensional, pretty, colorful flowers. And I think I'm going to use the long, straight ones. There's 3 different colors, so I'm going to take all 3, and I think what I'm going to do, I was playing around with it earlier and I spread them out, but I think I'm going to cluster them. But I want to cluster them before I lay them. You know, you can lay them down and then you can move them. You see, I just laid them down. I didn't hot glue them or anything. I just laid them down. And do I like it there? Well, maybe I'll move this one over a little bit. I think I like the cluster idea though, rather than having them separate. So let's see. And I'm putting them on the outside. If you wanted to put them inside, that's perfectly fine. Let's see. What do you think? Yep, I think I like it. So I'm going to just put a little bit of hot glue behind it just so that they stay on. Again, I'm mailing this and to somebody, so I want it to stay. So just a tiny bit. You could use regular glue and it would dry later in the morning. You could use this glue that I told you was my favorite glue. The art glitter glue that dries clear. You could use that and it would dry later. This is instant and it's done and it's dry, and the only thing I end up having to do is remove those strings from the hot glue that drive you out of your mind. They drive me out of my mind, but I keep using it because again, it's dry, it's done, and there's the web, and I get rid of the web. Okay, to me, it's balanced. There's some strings. Okay, now it's balanced. And I'm liking it. Hope you guys are liking it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What would I do with this after I'm done, Margie? What we do is trade them with people all over the world, and I have traded them with people all over the world. Since the pandemic, I've just been pretty much trading with people in this country. There's all kinds of, they call them swaps, and people will pick a topic. This topic would be spring, and then we would exchange spring pocket letters. And you put You send goodies with it. You stuff the back pocket. You put your name on it. You stuff a little letter in there. And that's the fun part, is getting the letter and learning about people all over the world. And there was one girl that I swapped pocket letters with monthly for almost 3 years. Other people will just do it once in a while, one-time thing. It's just fun. I've been crafting and doing scrapbooking mostly. I'm a 90% scrapbooker for so long that this is just a fun diversion, and it's a way to challenge yourself when people pick different topics, and it's a fun way to learn about people from all over the world. Okay, so that I want to decorate the side piece, and it's easy with the sticker sheet because I'm going to use the butterflies on the bottom. I used the scalloped one on a layout already, I guess. So I'm going to use the butterfly, and so then that's easy to lay down, except for this is in my way. And I probably hot glued it, so I'm going to lift it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to, on the side, I'm going to lay this down, and then I'm going to cut away the piece I don't need where it ends here. Okay, the side strip is now decorated. Now, I told you that it had 3 holes in it. Now I covered up the holes. So, I didn't prepare ahead of time, and I'm going to reach across the camera because I need my hole punch. Okay, sorry about that. There's my hole punch. I turn it around. I find the holes that are already there, and I just punch. There's the hole that's already there, and I just punch. Some people like to put these in binders, and they just have binders filled with pocket letters, and you just sit and look through them. So I want to put the holes in there. Sometimes people decorate these elaborately, and then they're hard to get in binders. I don't keep mine in binders. I keep mine in one big box that I got from IKEA, and so I don't, but if you keep it in a binder, some people don't decorate this because of that. I do always decorate it. As you see on the first one that was in the ad for this, I just did a small, with a lot of twine, and I did a tag from the collection that had said hello. What I'm going to do with this one is, I told you, going back to the centerpiece, that I used a die cut to make a hole so I could put a shaker in there. I kept the piece that came out. So I'm going to use that on my side hole. I'm going to put it up here. If I don't like it up here, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to decide. So I'm going to decorate this. And in the collection, we got these shakers, which are cute, and one is flowers. So since my theme is flowers, I'm going to use that. But first, I thought this might be cute. I saw the stars here. So I'm going to take the stars from this. All of this was from the collection this month. I'm going to take the stars, and I'm going to put them, I have to make sure. Okay, there we go. I put the stars there on the tag. Okay, then I'm going to take the shaker with the flowers in it, and I'm going to just put it across. Let's see how I want to do that. There we go. It's going to stick off a little bit. And I'll decide if I want to keep it there. I didn't press it real hard yet, so that I could decide. Let's see. I'm going to take this sticker pack, and I see the word spring right here. So I'm going to take spring off right here. And I think that I'm going to put spring like right on the shaker there. Okay. And then I'm going to take a piece of ribbon, which I cut ahead of time, and I'm going to put that through my tag. You could put a bow there. You could do whatever you wanted. And then I'm going to decide where I want it on here. And my word spring is crooked, and that's going to drive me crazy, and I don't like it where I put it, so I'm taking it off. And I'm going to put a pop dot on the back of it. So this is an example of exactly what I said. You do it any way you want. You can pick, I don't press things too hard, or I don't hot glue something till I'm sure where I'm going to put it. Okay, so there's the word spring again. I put a pop dot on it, and I think I'm going to put it alongside. Let's see. Don't know. It has to be. Let's see if there's any more questions. You know, these pocket letters are very nice to make for your, like you said, your grandkids. And what I was going to say is, yes, I made my sister-in-law, instead of a Christmas card one year, I made her a Christmas pocket letter. And I personalized it for her, you know, with her name and the whole thing. I just got a pocket letter from somebody as a thank you gift, and every card said thank you in it. And there was thank yous all over the place. So the pocket letter became a thank you card. So yes, you can do all kinds of creative things with these. All right, so there's my tag with the ribbon, and I have to decide where do I want it. Do I want to hang it from this hole? Do I want to hang it in the middle? And I think I'm going to hang it in the middle for something different. So I think that I'm going to maybe, let me try putting it through the center hole and maybe making a bow. I'm not sure yet if I will like the way that looks, but let's see. Okay. Or maybe I'll just tie a knot. Let me see. I do like it in the middle as something different. So, let's see. Any other questions? Does anybody have any questions while I'm looking up here? Oh, I don't like the way I tied that, see? I'm just doing in front of you what you all just do at home. You just work with something till you're happy with the way it is. Okay, there, I want it up there. And I'm going to see if I want a bow in it, so I'm going to tie a bow in this. And this should be my final thing here. Okay, now I'm going to cut that down because that's pretty long. Okay. What do you think? Hi, Dawn. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. If you came in not at the beginning, you're welcome to look at the replay, you know, to watch it from beginning to end. I am happy with it, but again, I will look tomorrow, especially since somebody is getting this at home, and I can tell you right now that I know I'm going to want bling here. I'm going to probably want a piece of bling right here, and maybe I might move this up here, or at least try it. Sometimes I do that, and I'm not, you know, I have to play around with something until I'm sure it's perfect. You could even hang it from the bottom. You could hang things from all three holes if you want to. And the other thing I was looking at when I'm looking at this is maybe in the collection there are some leaves. And I was thinking, I don't know, maybe I'll put some leaves, tuck some leaves around the flowers, or add some more flowers. But for right now, I'm totally happy with it. It's balanced. It's very springy, colorful. And I think that we are done. If I don't like the way this edge is here, I'll put a piece of twine there to cover that up. I mean, just in glancing at it. But that is what a pocket letter is. And again, people stuff the back with little goodies. Make sure and sign your name. People will put a letter in there to the person, and that's why it's called a pocket letter. And some people have been doing these for a lot of years. I think I've been doing them for about 5 years. And I haven't done as many this year as in the past 5 years because I've been doing Dex cards, which fit into index holders. So people get into all different things that they just have fun decorating, and they don't totally have a purpose, but the purpose is I just love doing it, and I just think it's fun to do it. I think it's fun to meet other people and collect theirs and send them your art, and that's pretty much it. So I thank you all for coming, and I am so glad I was able to come tonight because my husband had his knee replaced yesterday, and I wasn't sure how he was going to be today. So he's doing well and came home in one day in these crazy times, and so I'm happy I could come out here tonight to show you how I do a pocket letter. Again, anything goes, any way you want to do it goes. And are there any questions before I go? You are welcome. Thank you so much for coming. If anybody wants to trade or try one out or try a trade, I'd be glad to do it. Just send me a PM. Or if you have any questions, you could send me a PM or put the questions in right here. Hi, Debbie from Maryland. You're close to me. I'm in New Jersey, outside of Philadelphia. And thank you all for coming. Have a great night. Stay safe. Stay well. You're welcome. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.